Jojo, go somewhere with that. On the other room.
Okay, it says it's recording now.
Okay. Yeah, you're the other room, so it should be all right.
Okay. Cool, we're live.
Yep. What's up?
All right, well, hi everybody. We're here with Jennifer Santiago and Mary Wilkinson, and we're here to talk about the Comma Club. But before we start, I want to acknowledge all the emails that and comments and messages that I received about the Comma Club when we mentioned it in a few of the videos before. I heard you. I heard you loud and clear. It was kind of overwhelming how many people wanted to be in this fictitious Comma Club that didn't really exist. But everybody was beating down my door for it. So I went ahead and I opened up the real Comma Club now. For those of you who don't know what the Comma Club is, it was a fictitious thing that I made up one day to motivate one of the sellers, C-Base. She was in one of the videos before. And, you know, I was having a hard time getting her to stick to the plan that I had, you know, set for her. I'm getting feedback. Yeah, Jen, is that you?
I don't know, is it?
Can you mute yourself? So yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's much better. Thanks, Jen. So, you know, it was just something that I made up to motivate her and get her to stick to the plan that I had made for her. You know, because she came to me and needed help, you know, fixing her store and getting her listings up and stuff. And one day I just said, if you don't list, you're not going to make the Comma Club. And she was like, what? What's the Comma Club? And so that's where that was born. The Comma Club is essentially when you make $1,000 or more a month on eBay or any of the selling venues on a consistent basis. So I made this fictitious club for C-Bay, and you know, ever since she's been talking about the Comma Club. Just so you guys know, she did make the Comma Club, you know, after I mentioned that she got her act together and pushed, because she wanted to be part of this Comma Club, because she never made $1,000 before in a month, and I guess giving it a name really helped her to want it more. So, you know, we mentioned it before in a few of the Facebook groups. Jen heard us talk about it in one of the videos and in the Facebook groups, and then Jennifer wanted to be part of it. And everybody started talking about the Comma Club and sending me the emails and stuff. And for that, you know, because of that, I had to go ahead and open up a group called the Comma Club. There's only one way to get into the Comma Club, and you have to earn it. For those of you who have never done $1,000 on eBay before, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a very doable thing to do. You just have to want it. You have to want it, and you have to have a plan in order to make it into the Comma Club. You can list till the cows come home, but unless your store and your listings are set up correctly, it's not going to work. So I'm going to open it up to Jennifer so she can tell you her story on how she got motivated with this whole Comma Club thing. So Jennifer, I'm going to pass it on to you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, it's lagging so bad. Yeah, basically what Gladys said, you know, I heard about the Common Club and I was like, ooh, what's that? I would love to be that. I started selling on eBay in January of 2015, where in February, actually in January, I kind of started talking to Gladys and eBay, and I was following a lot of the stuff that Gladys was saying back then about bullet points and being mobile friendly. But I was new to everything. So for the first year, I just took things very slowly, learning the ropes, making sure that my customers come first, getting organized. I got the banker boxes. I used the shelving. I have a great inventory system with spreadsheets and numbers, and just basically taking my slow time, I guess. In December of 2015, I decided that I wanted to step things up a little bit. So I started drop shipping. Since I started drop shipping, I became top rated seller. I've been top rated seller since January or February. I think February. But my sales doubled compared to last year when I started drop shipping, but I was basically last year I basically broke even every month, and I was okay with that because I was learning. So in April, I heard her talk about the Comic Club, and I'm like, you know, my goal has always been to at least make my rent in a month, and I have never came even close to it. So she looked at my listings, and basically I was on point with everything, and she was like, what do you think is wrong? And I'm like, my consistency. I already knew what was wrong, me listing. So on April 17th, I went full force, and since April 17th, I have only missed 10 days of listing, and that was because of college finals. And oh my God, did everything explode. 100%. And it's been nonstop since it started. I started seeing a difference around April 27th. So it took about 10 days for everything to start kicking in. And for the whole month of April, I think there was 3 days that I got no sales, and that was it. So it was awesome.
Don't tell me yet.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, for those listening, I know that she made the Comic Club, so I know that she made obviously the $1,000 for the month. I don't know how much more she made after that. I know she's been working her tail off. I like she mentioned, you know, I did a store review for her. We had a consultation, and I went through, you know, all her entire store from top to bottom. And like she said, she was on point. The only thing that was missing was that consistency of listing every day. And she knew this, you know, she knew this going into the consultation, but she just wanted to make sure that what she said was what she was thinking was correct. And it was. And once she decided that she wanted to be in the fictitious Comic Club, all hell broke loose. You know, she saw the turnaround. Her sales increased. She, you know, it was, I'm gonna say dramatic, because she never made close to that before. Once she got into it, I saw a change in Jennifer, because once she made the Comic Club before the end of May, you know, and it just, you could just see the difference in her whole outlook and the way she was approaching it. There's something very powerful about having a goal, and then achieving that goal. You know, a lot of sellers get stuck in that mind frame of, I can't do this. I can't make $1,000. I can't, I'm listing, but, it's still not coming and blah, blah, blah. Well, you can, like I said before, you can list till the cows come home, but unless everything is in order, listing till the cows come home is not going to work. You need an action plan, and we made an action plan. She made herself an action plan, actually, for herself, and she took control of her business. I've said it before, you have to work your store like you're going to work every single day, and Jennifer did that, and as a result, she reaped the rewards. The other thing I want to say is that I get a lot of emails and I see a lot of it in the Facebook groups where people get stuck in the, well, I can't do this because of this, or I can't do this because of that, or this stopped me, or this stopped me, and they have all these excuses. The one thing I'm going to tell you about excuses is that you can't deposit excuses. You can't pay your bills with excuses. I'm a single mom. This is my full-time job. I have to cook, I have to clean, I have to wash clothes, I have to list, I have to get my shipments out, I have to take care of customers. I have to do it all too. And if I can do it at full-time, and Jennifer, who's part-time and can do it, anybody can do it. The only thing that's stopping you is yourself, So like I said, you can't deposit excuses. If you're trying to achieve, paying your rent with eBay, it's very doable. Jennifer just proved it this month. Well, for May, she proved it. There were other people who jumped in Jennifer's post in one of the Facebook groups. I think it was in Cindy's group. Was it that you posted it?
For which?
For the Comma Club.
Yeah, it was Cindy's group.
Yeah, it was Cindy's group. And everybody.
They were like, oh, what's that?
Oh yeah. And then the floodgates really opened. And everybody wanted into the Comma Club. So I opened it up, and there's 15 people in there right now that earned it. There are some people that are making more than $1,000. So obviously their goal should be higher. The point of the Comma Club is it's accountability, holding yourself accountable for your own success. In the Comma Club, you set your own goal, and it's up to you to make that goal at the end of every month. It's a place where you're going to be surrounded by like-minded people with the same goals in mind, which is, I need to make this much money, and holding yourself accountable. You don't want to be in the Comma Club and see everybody posting that they made their goal, and you're the only one sitting there all sad and crying because you slacked off and didn't make the Comma Club. Nothing motivates another seller more than seeing other sellers succeed. So that's why I made the Comma Club. Like I said, the only way you can get into the Comma Club is by earning it. Now, I had opened it up to these 15 people in May. We're not going to take anybody else in until the end of June. If you make the Comma Club, okay, for those of you who have never made $1,000 and you make it, send me or Mary, because she's the admin, the other admin, a screenshot of your sales for that month, and we will get you in, okay? And then we have a roll call every first of the month where you dictate what your goal is going to be and what your, there's people putting, their goals of $1,000 or $2,000, whatever they want to achieve. But there's other sellers saying, I want to make this much, but I also want to list this much, and it's about the holding yourself accountable. When you have other people in the same group holding you accountable, at the end of the month, everybody's cheering for everybody, congratulating everybody, and for those who didn't make it, I'm going to be hard on you. I'm going to ask you, why didn't you make it? What happened this month that stopped you from getting from where you were to where you needed to be? Because you need to recognize what it is that's holding you back. And once you recognize that, you can make a plan to fix that. But if you're not seeing the whole picture, you're not going to get to where you need to be. It's not to embarrass anybody. It's not to point fingers, or it's none of that. It's solely so that you can see where you're lacking. And if we can all see where you're lacking, we can all help you achieve, get past that hurdle, because it's hard to be stuck in a hurdle and not know how to get past it. But when you have other sellers, between me, Jennifer, and Mary right here, right now, there's a wealth of information that we can share and stuff that we can do for each other to help each other pass a hurdle. It could be as simple as, I don't know how to do something, and Mary might know how to do something, and Mary will jump in and help me pass that hurdle. Or it could be a different hurdle, and Jennifer knows how to do it, and we all support each other. And that's what ultimately what it's all about. So Jennifer, you started listing.
Mm-hmm.
You made the Comma Club.
Mm-hmm.
What was the hardest part for you during the whole process?
Probably getting into the mindset that I can actually do it. And of course the listing, because I work full-time for an Amazon vendor. Sometimes I work 8 hours a day, sometimes I can work 12 hours a day. I am also a full-time student in college taking 4 classes. In my spare time, I help out a friend who has a mobile spa business that does little girls' birthday parties. So whenever she's short a person, I help out with that. And then there's eBay. So I had to sit there and figure out, okay, well, how am I going to make time to at least list at least one item every day? So, usually I have a lot of time on the weekends, so I would take all the pictures, and then I would put 5 listings complete, but save it in a draft. That way, if I could not get away when I was on break at work or on lunch, I would just go in and hit complete, and I was done. That was my listing for the day. So that was the biggest struggle. And now it's like I list out 5, I sit down to list, and within 10 minutes I have 5 done. I really got a lot quicker with that. But I think that was my hardest thing. Now it's like by 10 o'clock I'm like, okay, I haven't gotten a sale yet. What do I need to do to get people to look at my store for the day? Because basically my daily goal has been 2 sales every day. And then once I hit that 2 sales every day, then I'm like, okay, I get in that mindset that I want more. So then I'm looking at least $50 worth of sales within the day. And I run promotions, and I'm like, okay, well, today I don't have a sale going. Maybe I should put something on sale. And like every Wednesday, for one day, I put all my thrifted items on 50% off, just for that one day. And then it's funny because a lot of times when I do that, I'll get like 5 sales the day after it ended. Sometimes they offer the price that it was, sometimes they don't. But I also found out that in promotions, you can promote your sales event. So I've been doing that. So if I have up to like 50% off in one category, 40% off in another, as long as you have stuff on sale, you can promote your sale, and it pulls all your sales items and it puts it on eBay's sale page. So I've been doing that, and then tweeting it at least twice a day. So.
Okay. I'm glad that you mentioned some of the tools that eBay gives us. that's one way to achieve that will help you achieve your goal. A lot of sellers don't use, you know, the markdown managers or the promoted listings or the promotion. What's it called?
Promotions. Yeah,
Yeah,
just promotions.
the other promotions. And you need to start using those because those tools are all made to help you drive traffic. Another one is the collections. You know, every tool that eBay gives the store owners are made to drive traffic. Okay, and when you're driving traffic, what happens? You make sales. And the more sales you make, the better. And just like Jennifer, you know, I'll run a sale, and then after the sale, I'll get, you know, after the sale ends, I start selling stuff at full price. I don't know why that is either, but that's just the way it happens. You know, if you're going to use the tools, make sure that you're using them the right way. You know, because there is the wrong way to use them, and then there's the right way to use them. If you're going to do a sale, make sure that you're doing a sale for 1 or 2 days at most. Short, sweet sales. And do it often. Change it up. Don't do the same categories all the time. Think like a retail store. You know, every Sunday you get the sales flyer from Target or Walmart or Macy's or whatever, and it's different sales going on, different percentages. You want to do that in your store to see which ones work the best. Yesterday in Chris's show, you know, I talked about using the promoted listings and how I use those. I don't use them with the intent of selling the items and having to pay out of pocket. I use it with the intent of driving traffic without having to pay out of pocket. And it's worked very well for me. If you use the promoted listings with the promotions, it works even better. It's helped me sell more of the comic books, more of the Monopoly tokens, and the trade cards. So they're good tools to use. Excuse me. Somebody's asking a question, so let me answer them. They want to know how many people are in the Comma Club. Right now, there's only 15. We're not opening it up till the end of June. Okay. I don't see any more.
Yeah, I put in the chat that they say July 1st, and they can send you a screenshot.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to earn the Comma Club. It's a great incentive. Like I said, you know, Jennifer heard about it and she wanted it. I told CBay about it and she wanted it, and everybody all of a sudden wants it, and that's great. Nothing would make me happier than to see everybody be able to pay their rent selling just on eBay. You know, I would love for you to make $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month. But you have to start off, you know, slow. Learn the ropes like Jennifer did. You don't have to take it as slow as Jennifer did. But you know, learn the basics and the ropes, and then work yourself from there. Once you get to the $1,000 a month, you don't want to maintain it. You want to duplicate that the next month, but you don't want to maintain it there. The goal is to keep bringing yourself up higher up the chain, you know. So you want to achieve more than $1,000. But the initial goal is to make $1,000 and then work yourself up from there. I do want to say that the difference between people with goals and people without goals is that people with goals succeed because they know where they're going. They have their roadmap, you know, and you need that. You need that action plan so that you put your eye on the prize and you'll get there. But if you're just gonna be sitting there and list and say, well, if I make it, I make it, or I'm trying, but you don't have no roadmap to get there, it's not gonna work for you. So, Jennifer,
Yes.
I'm like so excited to know what your final numbers were. But before you say the final number,
Mhm.
I want to know transaction wise.
Okay.
In April, what were your transaction numbers? Just transactions, not dollar amount.
I had 22 orders in April.
22 orders in April. And then in May, you had how many orders?
99.
99 orders.
I did more in May than I did in the whole year of 2015.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Mind blown. Mind blown right now.
Yeah.
You went from 22 sales to 99 sales. All because you put a name to your goal.
Yep. Because my highest month was 25 orders in December, and that was ever. And that was only because I added drop shipping. Before that, my highest month, I had 2 months in 2015 of 18 orders each, and that was it. Normally, it was anywhere between 7 and 10 orders a month. But I wasn't listing. I had a lot of issues going on. Yeah, 99. I couldn't believe it.
I'm speechless. 99 orders. If Jennifer can do it, any of you guys listening right now can do this.
Yeah, I dare anybody to say that there's an excuse. And even now, I'm moving a light because I have no power because my electric is off on my street, but yet I have my laptop fully charged, I have batteries in my scale, and I have already listed my 5 items for today.
This is a woman on a mission.
Everything. All I got to do is go to work tomorrow and print out my labels.
Oh my God.
And I did that yesterday as well because I had no electric yesterday.
Bravo, girl. Bravo. I done created a monster.
You have. You definitely have.
Okay, so 99. Wow. Girl, I am so proud of you. 99 orders. Wow. Okay, so for April, what was your dollar amount? Well, wait.
5.
Wait. Did you sell any multiples in April?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, no multiples. All right. What was your dollar amount in April?
$519.82.
82 cents. Okay. Oh my God, I can't wait to hear this. Let me make sure I'm sitting right so I don't fall off the chair and faint. Let me take a drink of water here. Can we get a drum roll, please? Okay. For May, what was your sales amount?
$1,368.84.
Unfreaking believable.
Yep.
That's your rent right there.
Yeah.
Girl, I wish I could just grab you right now and give you a hug. I'm so proud of you. That is fantastic. Fantastic.
Again, even with that, I made more money in 1 month than I did for the whole year 2015. For the whole year.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So, and that's doing it part-time. My average sale per order went down, but it's because I started selling a lot of my thrifted items, where in April it was more my drop shipped items and my higher expensive ones than my thrifted ones. But most of my thrifted items I get from a Goodwill Weigh and Pay, so I spend like 47 cents on an item, so I'm okay with selling it for $2. There was a lot of lowball offers that I took just because I knew that one offer would get Cassini looking at my store, and it was like five orders right after that. So I was okay with it.
That's awesome. That's okay. So what's your sales goal for June then?
I had it at 15, but I'm really pushing for probably 2,000 because it's only June 2nd. Like I said, my daily goals have been two sales a day or $50. I am already at 8 sales for the month, so I'm like ahead. And I just want, that doesn't mean that I need to slack. It means I need to keep going to stay ahead.
That's right.
So,
That's right. That is mind-blowing.
yeah, I don't see why I wouldn't be able to push 2,000 this month.
Thrifting for time freedom. The way to get in the comma club is to make $1,000 a month. Once you make that $1,000 a month, then you either send a snippet of your sales to either Mary or myself via Facebook, and we'll let you in. If you're already making $1,000 a month, we'll let you in. Just send us the sales report thing. But your goal for the next month has to be higher because you've already, the whole point of the club is to get you to the 1,000, but to keep you going higher. Jennifer, I'm just like, I'm still stuck at the 99 sales. How many did you have? Any multiples in there?
One.
One?
I was contacted by a girl from Spain that wanted 3 of my bathing suits. They were drop shipped orders, so I bundled the 3 of them together because you can't bundle orders through GSP.
Right.
So I bundled them together. I made the order especially for her, sent it. She paid for it, and off they went.
Awesome. Okay, so then we need to work.
And I already have a multiple for this month. Actually,
Okay.
they bought 3 bathing suit bottoms.
Okay, so we need to work on getting you more multiples.
So.
That should be one of your other goals, is trying to achieve more multiples. Because with 99 sales, you should have a lot more multiples in there.
Right.
But that's fantastic. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. I'm so proud of you. I know you've been working your tail off for the whole year.
Yeah.
The one thing that I love about Jennifer is that she not only listens to the advice that we give her, she actually applies it, and it's been working for her. The things that I talk about them because I do them myself, and I know that they work. If they're proven, I've proven them time and time before. If you guys aren't using the tools that eBay gives you, I'm telling you right now, you need to start learning how to use them. I'm gonna work with Jennifer and to figure out how we can achieve more multiple sales in there for her, because that's gonna help her grow her business. The one thing I wanna say to sellers right now is that it's not always about the dollar amount, okay? Because the dollar amount can change. It all depends on the items that you sell, I like to look at both numbers, how much I made for the month, obviously, and how many transactions I had. And within those transactions, how many of them were multiple sales. So I've been working on trying to achieve more multiple sales for myself. And last month for May, I almost doubled the amount of multiple sales I had versus the transactions. So I know it can be done, and the way I did it was by using the promotions managers and the promoted listings. I had to play with it for a while to figure out how to achieve that. The more I played with it, the more I tweaked it, the more stuff that I did and learned from it. I tried to duplicate that from I started off with the comic books, then I went on to the trade cards, and then I went on to the game pieces, the Monopoly tokens and stuff. So I'm trying to duplicate what I achieve with one category. I try to duplicate that with the next category, and so on and so on. And it's been, thank God, it's been working very well. Like I said, I almost doubled the amount of multiples versus the amount of transactions for May. So those are things that you want to look at. You might not be making the $1,000 right now, but if you go from 10 sales a month to 20 or 30 sales a month, give yourself credit because you're doing something right. Because you can't just go from 10 or 5 or 10 sales and then you fix something and then all of a sudden you're at 30. That means something that you fixed is working. So you need to figure out how to tweak that to keep it growing. And once you fix that, and like I said before, everything needs to be on point in your store. And once you get that on point, then the money's just going to roll in, and then you can start focusing on trying to achieve the dollar amounts, Pamela, where do I get your advice, Gladys? Oh, Pamela, you can watch the YouTube videos. I know I don't make a lot of them. This is like my third one, maybe, or fourth one. I don't know who's counting. I'm in the Facebook groups. I do other shows when I'm asked to. You're basically gonna have to stalk me on Facebook. You can go to my business page on Facebook. Just ask Gladys, and follow me there. I do post. Where I'm going to be, whatever show, or if I'm doing a YouTube show on my channel, I'll post it there. I try to cover as many bases as possible. I am only one person, so I can't make the rounds to every single group. But if I'm asked by, Deborah or Chris, to do one of their shows, I always say yes. I do meetup groups, via Skype. So if there's a meetup group in your area, and who runs it, and you want to get me on there, to talk about SEO or stores or whatever you want me to talk about, I'd be more than happy to do that as well. So yeah, basically just you're gonna have to stalk me, Pamela. Yeah, just the best bet would be the Facebook page. Just ask Gladys. That'd be the easiest one. I have been stalking you. Okay, we want to put
Many of us have.
We want to put Pamela on the list of stalkers.
Yeah, I would add to what you're saying is that, like you're saying, about being consistent and using the tools, and playing around with the tools to see what works for you, because what works for you and your items that you're selling may not apply to another seller because of the type of items they sell. So you just have to try to keep tweaking it until it seems like it starts to work for what it is you're selling.
Right, exactly. Pamela, you got a store and it took a nosedive. Is your store optimized? Betting it's not. So you need to learn how to optimize your store. For everyone who gets a store, you guys need to learn what areas of your store are the important areas well, every part of the store is important, but there are key areas in your store, like the store categories. A lot of sellers don't know how important those store categories are when it comes to Google and ranking, and when it comes to buyers being able to find what you have. Store categories can either make your store or break your store. So that's one of the areas where you want to make sure that you're using the right keywords. When you think about store categories, you need to think like a retail store. You know, they all have departments, and within those departments there's the aisles, and the aisles represent subcategories in your store. So you need to make sure that, you know, if you have the men's section, you know, so in the men's department at Target, it's the men's department, right? So in your store category, it would be men's. And then at Target, they'll have, you know, an aisle for the men's jeans, an aisle for the shorts, an aisle for the, you know, the dress slacks and the dress shirts. So that's how you would break down the subcategories: jeans, dress, you know, slacks, dress shirts, t-shirts, sports attire, whatever. That's how you need to set those up. You don't want to use non-searchable terms like a lot of sellers will use fun things as a category. There is no department in any store that I've ever seen called fun things. You know, so you need to mimic department stores. To get a better understanding, go to Target.com, go to ToysRUs.com, go to JCPenney.com, and see how they're doing their categories, and you'll learn how to set up your own. Louis the Seller. There are many ways to reach the Comma Club. Do you believe auctions is a good way to progress with sales? Yes, Louis. Auctions is another way that another one of the tools that I use to drive traffic from my store. Sometimes I'll put 100 items, you know, in auction, and I might sell one of them. But the point isn't really, I'm not using the auctions to make the sales. I'm using the auctions to drive the traffic from auctions to my store, and that's another way to generate traffic. I don't see any more.
Yeah, about the auctions, I did that a lot this month too. But what I did was I started them off at 99 cents, but a lot of them were heavier items that had to go priority that I knew I was going to get a huge discount on, so I made the profit off actually the shipping.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's different ways. You just have to play with it and figure out what works best for your store and your items. Mary, what are
I use calculated shipping. I don't do free shipping.
Yeah, I do a mixture. I do a mixture of calculated and free.
Auction, you really need to do calculated.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mary, what are some of the things that you find that work for you?
I definitely need to look more into using like the promotions manager. I haven't used that as much. I use the promotions manager, not the markdown manager. That's what happens.
Okay.
But promotions manager I have, and that definitely makes a difference with people buying multiple items, because when they can get a discount if they buy, like I have, you know, you buy 2, you get a certain percentage off kind of thing. But what works for me and works for another seller I know is different. So everybody, that's what I was saying earlier about everybody has a different, you know, thing that's going to work for whatever it is that you're selling. But I haven't done a lot of auctions, but yeah, I mean, that definitely, whether it's that or whether it's adding items that are some, not all higher priced items, but items that have a range so that they come in looking at this item, but yet they may end up buying something else because the draw was maybe a lower priced item, but they end up seeing something else and they buy that. So all of it, like you said, all of it's to drive traffic.
Right.
That's the key to all of it, and putting all, like you said, putting everything in a row and making sure you've got, you know, your titles, your specifics, your descriptions, everything's optimized so that, you know, you will get found. But yeah, that's mostly, I mean, what I find. But I definitely, Markdown Manager isn't one I really played with as much, so probably look into that more.
Yeah, I'm gonna start playing with the promotions. I've only done one of the possibilities on there. There's like, you can do buy 2 get 1 free, and yeah, there's like different ones that you can set up. I've only done one, so I'm gonna start playing with the others to see what kind of traction that I get from them. I focused on one because I didn't want to mix them all up, you know, because I wanted to see how I could make this one promotion work, you know. And once I tweaked it and got it just right, it started to work. And then I used that in conjunction with the promoted listings, and you know, like I said, my multiples just about doubled the transactions that I had last month.
Yeah.
So that was exciting for me. So I'm gonna start playing with another one, incorporating a different kind of promotion, and see where that goes. One thing I want to say is, when you try these tools, you want to use them for more than 30 days, because really 30 days is not enough time for you to gauge any kind of data or know-how. And when you start implementing the other two tools together, like the promotions and the promoted listings, you want to give it time, because it does take time to build that connection and figure out exactly where the happy spot is. For me, for the promoted listings, my happy spot is doing the 5%, you know, doing the 5% payout. And I've only had to pay once in the whole year that I've been using it. And that was just recently on May 26th. One time, a whole 60 cents. But like I said, it's helping me get found in search.
Yeah.
And they're coming in through those listings, but they're not buying the promoted listing. It's bringing them in, and then they go into my store and they buy other stuff, which is what my whole point of using it was for. You know, it wasn't for me to pay out of pocket. So you definitely want to give yourself more than 30 days to use these tools and see any kind of results.
And to think of it in a positive way, because there are a lot of sellers that automatically see the promoted listings as like, oh, it's going to cost me more money. But like you were saying, you were using it more of a tool of not necessarily thinking it was going to cost you money, but that it was going to drive traffic and sales for other items that weren't listed in promoted listings. Because promoted listings is only for quantity items.
Mm-hmm.
So all those single one-off items, you know,
Right.
are getting traffic because you had to promote listings that came in via that and ended up buying other things.
Yep, and that was one of the reasons why I also used it on the quantity items that weren't getting any views or sales, and it was a great way for me to get sales to those items, so that I can have that sales data history, which once I sell something on a multi-quantity item, it bumps it up in search. So that's worked well for me, because then the sales start coming in more consistently for that type of item. Thrifting for time freedom. I don't think I'll be able to make the Comma Club this month. Just getting started. I will make it my goal. Thrifting. Answer me this. You're a brand new seller? Is that what you're saying? Give her time to, or him time to answer. I'm really hoping they're saying yes. I'm a brand new seller.
Yeah.
Because you know what because y'all know what I'm gonna say, right?
Just so what we had mentioned is that the Comma Club isn't just for eBay sellers. If you're making $1,000 on Etsy, or if you're making $1,000 on Amazon, any one of the platforms, you make that.
Or the Facebook groups.
Yeah,
you know?
or Facebook groups. As long as you show that on any one of them you're making $1,000.
Okay, thrifting hasn't answered my question, but if you're a brand new seller and you think you can't make it, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's BS. That's BS, because I wish Kim was here. I wish Kim was here today. I'll bring her on next time. But Kim was a brand new spanking seller. Okay, she heard about the Comma Club and went crazy. She went crazy listing. She went crazy trying to learn how to optimize, you know, everything that she could. And guess what? In 30 days, Kim made the Comma Club by like 48 bucks. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you just started today. In 30 days, you can. It's very doable. I'm telling you right now, and I'm telling you right now that it's it's so doable to be able to do it month after month after month after month. You just have to learn how to put everything together to achieve it. That's it. You know, if you follow the advice, take action, you'll make it. If Kim went Kim went berserk and she did it. You know, she pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and made it. And she's brand new to eBay. In 30 days, she made $1,000. So now her goal for next month, I think she wants to do 12, I believe. But I'll try to have Kim on another time so that she could tell her story. She wasn't able to make today's show.
Joni's asking about it. Combine their 1,000 from multiple platforms.
What was that?
I said Joni asked about combining their 1,000 to get the 1,000 from multiple, but
no, it's no, Joni. The whole goal is to achieve $1,000 on one venue, you know. And once you got that one venue on lockdown where you can do it every single month, then the next goal is to achieve it in a different venue, you know. So if you're selling on Etsy and you make 1,000, but you're not making 1,000 on eBay, then we need to focus on eBay a little bit more to get you to that 1,000. You really want to achieve 1,000 in each venue, because that would be the golden ticket right there, you know, or more. Pamela says, "Yup, I need the advice. I have all day. I need 3,000 a month, but how the heck can one person do that?" You have all day, Pamela.
you have all day.
You got all day, Pamela. What is your excuse? Tell me what is going on with you. You have all day but can't make $3,000 a month. Why is that? What is stopping you besides yourself? I know you said you just got a store and that it tanked, so obviously your store is not optimized. So you need to work on that. Like I said, you need to make sure all your ducks are in a row. 3,000 is doable. It's going to be a lot of hard work. You will get frustrated. Yes, you will. But you need to get past that frustration. Okay? Because you can't deposit frustration and you can't deposit excuses. The only thing you can deposit in a bank is cash. She doesn't know how to optimize her store.
So you learn.
So you learn. You ask questions. That's what being in the Facebook group is all about. You know, learning how to do things, putting yourself out there and asking questions. And if somebody answers you and you still don't understand, you keep asking until you do understand. You know, I spend a lot of time in various Facebook groups, dishing out, you know, store reviews. The free ones. If not, you know, I said I wasn't gonna do this because that's not what my channel is about. I do paid store consultations. So that's one route that you can go, or there's also, you know, the free stuff that I do all the time here on this channel and out on the Facebook groups. If there's something that you don't understand that I said, or you have a question, tag me on it, and you know, I will try to help you as much as I can. I was doing great for a while at 2,000 a month, then stuff stopped selling. Well, we need to figure out why stuff stopped selling.
I'm guessing if she just opened the store, it could be the optimization of the category she created.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, is the optimization. You just need to learn to ask questions and keep asking until you do get the answers that until you do get it. Sometimes it takes asking 10, 20, 30 times.
Sometimes it just takes a different person to explain it.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amelia, I am new to eBay selling. Maybe this will give me the incentive. Amelia, the only thing that's going to give you the incentive is yourself. We can motivate you. We can guide you. But unless you take the steps necessary to get you to where you are at, we can motivate you till the cows come home. But it's ultimately up to you. Figure out what your goal is. Make it something that's attainable. Don't start off, I'm new to eBay, I'm gonna make $3,000. That's not gonna happen.
Long-term goal.
Right, that's a long-term goal. So you want to start off small. If you're new to selling on eBay and you don't have a store, your goal is to get a store by the next month. You guys got to take it in baby steps. For those who have never done $1,000 before, or for those of you guys who are brand new, you need to start off slow and work your way up. I'm telling you, it's doable. This is how I pay my rent and my bills and put food on the table. eBay is my number one income. Go ahead, Jen.
You have to want it. Like, I hear so many people talk about, well, what do I need to do to get that store? And everybody's telling them, you need at least 100 listings. No, you don't. You need the motivation. Literally, I started selling, like I said, in January 2015. At that time, you didn't have fixed price for the basic account. It was only auctions. I did not I learned right from the beginning, I did not like auctions, not one bit. My first sale was on, I believe it was like February 3rd. It was like a $25 sale. On that same day, I upgraded to a store, and I literally had 7 listings. And I've never looked back. I went for the yearly subscription, and as long as I made that one sale to cover that store fee, I didn't care about anything else, because anything else was purely profit. And that pushed me, and now here it is, June 2016, and I have 525 listings, and I have a premium store.
That's awesome. When I started off without a store. 30 days after I started, I had a store, and I've had a store for 7 years. I'm the type that will jump. I will jump. Mm-hmm. I don't know where I'm gonna land, but I'm gonna jump, and I will figure out how I'm gonna land, on my way down. I don't let things stop me. If I don't know how to do something, I'm gonna figure it out. Or I'm going to find somebody who's going to guide me to figure it out, for you guys who are in the Facebook groups, there is a wealth of information. Tons of people, If you hit it off with somebody and you gotta, I don't want to say use, because you're building relationships, but, I don't know crap about spreadsheets. That's one of my downfalls. But I know somebody who knows spreadsheets, right, Jennifer?
Yeah, 100%.
So I know that I can go to Jennifer and say, hey, Jennifer, whenever you got, a chance or whatever, can you help me out with this? And I know that she's going to help me out with it, And sometimes it'll be asking her in a Facebook group. Sometimes it's just me sending her a message. You guys, you're in Facebook groups, you're making connections. Learn how to utilize those connections to help you get further. It's not that you're using people, you're in groups with like-minded people to try to achieve, a higher level of success.
Well, you're supporting each other.
Yeah, and you're supporting each other to get there.
Yeah.
Meetup groups is another way to get, you know, the support. Check out whatever local meetup groups you have. I know here in Mount Prospect, Illinois, I go to the Elk Groves Village one. You know, Rich and Nyla are awesome. They always have different people on there and different topics and stuff. And I learn, you know, I know a lot, but I don't know everything. You know, so I learn a lot from those connections, making those connections, and after the meetup, and you're networking and you're talking to people, and you'd be amazed that the you know, I've been selling for 7 years, and a brand new seller will come and teach me something that I didn't know. You know, so it could be somebody who's brand new, it could be somebody who's been selling since eBay started in, what was it, 95, 96? So, you know, there's a wealth of information out there that you guys could be using to help you grow your business.
One thing I want to address, Amelia mentioned that she's new to eBay and that she doesn't have a store. Just realize when you first start with eBay, they will limit how much you can put up for sale initially. Even if you add a store and the store gives you a certain set amount of available listings, because you're a new account, they want to see at least a 30-day history of something that's going on, and then you can call and try to get your numbers increased. But just because you open a store doesn't mean magically you're going to be able to list all that is available for a store because you're a new account. Because they want to make sure they protect the buyers, that, you know, that you're not someone who's going to rip them off or whatever. Right, you know, right. Not that you do that, but you know, they're looking out for both sides. Yeah, you know, making sure that you're doing all the right things and making sure you're protecting, you know, your buyers as well. So
yeah, you have to learn the ropes. I always tell sellers, if you're brand new, first of all, you got to figure out if this is something that you're gonna want to do. Because you have to like what you're doing and able to, you know, to be able to do it.
And it's work.
Yeah, it's work. Yeah, you know? And it's a lot of hard work. You know, if after 30 days you have decided that you like doing this and this is something that you want to do, then that's the time to figure out, okay, my next plan is to get a store. You know, there's different ways. First of all, the stores pay for themselves because of the sales that it'll generate and the tools. Okay. Second of all, you can pay for the store if you become an eBay affiliate, and I've talked about this yesterday in Chris's show. You know, the eBay Partner Network. Every seller should be part of that because eBay is paying you to advertise your items on Facebook, on Twitter, on Pinterest, you know, via social media, to advertise your own stuff. I mean, come on, we do that every single day. But if you become an affiliate and you make an affiliate link for your stuff and you put it out there and it sells, guess what? You're getting paid to sell your own stuff. If it doesn't sell, but that person buys something else from somebody else on eBay, guess what? You're still getting paid. Why? Because you drove traffic to eBay. So it's not necessarily that they have to buy your item to get paid. It's whether they purchase anything on eBay within the 24-hour period that cookie lasts for. So if you're not part of the affiliate program on eBay, I highly recommend it. For what month are we? We're in June. So for April, I threw out 11 links on social media with the affiliate link, okay? Guess how much money I generated off those 11 little links? Just guess. Somebody give me a number.
No clue.
Come on, give me a number.
Nobody's fighting.
$3. Really, Pat? No, no, Missy. Not $20. No, Missy.
Keep going. Oh,
Kara. It was actually $239. is what I made off the affiliate program for the month of April, and all I did was 11 links. Okay, that took me probably 2 minutes per link. $239.
Wow.
A little bit more, and I could have paid for my Anchor store. For last month in May, I only threw out 3 links and made $90. There's money to be made. You just need to learn how to do that.
Use it. That's another show.
You know, and that's a whole nother show. But you know, if you're worried about not being able to pay for your store, I just gave you a way to pay for your store. Okay, so there's no more excuses, because I just gave you a very easy way to pay for your store every single month by doing what you do all the time, which is pinning your stuff, putting it on Twitter, putting it on Facebook. You know, give us more info on where that show is. You did yesterday. It's called the R Show.
Yeah, here I have the link. I'll put it.
Okay, Mary, thank you, Mary.
But you know what? I tried earlier. It wouldn't let me put a link in there. It gave me a.
Put the name to his channel then.
Oh, let's see. Let me open it.
So yeah, $239 for 11 links and $90 for 3 links. And it's up to me how much I make a month. You know, if I really sat down and started making, you know, the affiliate links for all of my 2,100 and whatever items that I have up for sale right now, I'd make way more than $239. You know, but it's all about having the time to do it too. But still, $239 for 11 links that I threw up there, that's not bad. That right there will pay for your store. You know, the basic store is what, 25 now?
I don't even know.
I don't know. I know the Anchor store is 300 a month.
Yeah, I know.
Because that's what I'm paying.
The premium is $60.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Could you do your next show on this subject? I'll try, Pat. I can't guarantee, because I do have a lot of a backlog.
Yeah.
I have a waiting list of clients, and I know one of them is in here today from Australia, and I'm trying to coordinate my schedule with him. So I do apologize to I think it's EW Direct.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to coordinate with Chicago time and where he's at in Australia, where he's not. You know, I don't want him to be up too early in the morning, and I don't want to be up too late at night. So we're trying to get a little happy spot there. But we'll get it together. We'll get it together. Yeah, there he is, right there. So I do apologize. It's just trying to do the time zones thing is just driving me crazy. So we'll get it together, I promise. What was that, Johnny? How do you
do the links?
For the affiliates, you have to sign up for the program first. Okay, signing up for the program takes about, I'm going to say about 10 to 15 minutes. And you usually get a response the next day. Where are you in Chicago? I am in Mount Prospect, Illinois, 10 minutes from O'Hare. Just south of me. Where south of you are you, Pamela? Okay, I'm not seeing any more questions. Does anybody have any more questions for Jennifer or Mary or myself? Thrifting for for time freedom says that she doesn't have all day, but that's one of her goals is to do eBay full time. Yeah, doing eBay full time takes a lot of work. Trying to get to that point where you can let go of your current job. Um, I was kind of fortunate and not fortunate in where I had lost my job, and so I was doing eBay. I was still doing it part time because I was taking care of my fiance who was sick at the time, and I had just had a baby as well, and um, once he passed away, I had no choice but to make eBay my full-time job. It was not an easy thing to do, to go going from part-time to full-time was easy. The hard part was all the work involved, because it took a lot of hours to get to where I am today. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say that it took me 30 days or whatever. It's a lot of hard work. It was a lot of hard work learning how to use the tools, how to use my store. It was a lot of hard work having to revise all of my listings to make sure that they were mobile friendly. It was a lot of work juggling my toddler and home life and eBay life. It was a hard thing to do eBay and incorporate another selling venue, which was Bonanza at Bonanza and eBay, and then I wanted to incorporate Amazon. So then I had Amazon, eBay, Bonanza. Bonanza I don't worry too much about because I only make maybe 1 or 2 sales a month, but that's 1 or 2 sales a month I'm not making somewhere else, so I will take it. And then I threw Etsy in there, so now I have Amazon, Bonanza, eBay, and Etsy, and plus the home life thing, being a single mom and trying to juggle all these things, and then doing the consultations is another aspect of it. So that was something else I had to juggle into the mix, and then it was the affiliates program, trying to put that to work, because I'm trying to put myself in a position where I'm making passive income, and the affiliates program is passive income, where I can throw out some links out there, and that's all I have to do for that day. The rest of it works out itself. The consultations, I love doing the consultations because I love working with other sellers and helping them grow their business. Trying to learn all the other sites, because every site is just a little bit different. And learning how to, right now I'm trying to learn how to do a CSV file so that I can upload all my stuff to Amazon all at once versus trying to put them up there one by one. And trying to do that for Etsy as well. So I'm constantly always putting myself in the position. Everything that I do on a daily basis needs to make me money. That's my goal. If it's not gonna make me money somehow, I'm not gonna do it, because I have bills to pay. So I have to think about that every single month, because ain't nobody paying my bills but me. So I have to make sure that whatever goals I have for that day, that it's something that's leading me towards making money. It's either making me money right then and there, or it's working towards making money. Okay? So you guys really should be thinking about creating passive income. The YouTube videos is another great way to do passive income for you guys. You create a YouTube video and you connect it with, what is it called, Mary? AdSense?
AdSense.
Yeah, and let it do its thing. You do it once and people start viewing it, and you get, you make money. Are you gonna get rich off of it? Probably not. But, I'll be happy. I'll be happy if it pays a bill. You know. So everything that you do needs to somehow make you money that day, or work towards making you money in the long run. So when you're setting your goals, make sure that that's how you're setting them. It's going to make me money today, or it's going to make me money down the road. Postcard pics.
Yeah, well, she got her questions answered because you were talking about the various venues you're selling on.
Oh, okay. I wasn't ignoring you, honey.
No.
Sometimes they scroll up so fast that I lose track of them. But yes, I do sell on Amazon, Etsy, Bonanza, and eBay. You're in Alton, Illinois, across the river from St. Louis. Ooh, yeah, you're a little far from me, girl. Yeah, way south. I'm in Gurney. NCC, you're in Gurney? Well, you should know. You probably know Bubble Fast. Mark from Bubble Fast. You should be coming to the meetings. I know Mark comes to the meetings, so you should be coming to the meetings, NCC. What are my niche? I'm in the vintage collectible stuff. And I don't say that I'm in a niche. I will sell anything that's not nailed down. Usually when stuff goes missing around here, people are asking me or looking to see if it's in an eBay box because they're afraid that I put it up and listed it. I will sell anything that's going to make, pay my rent. So the only thing I don't like to sell is clothing, just because all the measuring and stuff. I do have some shirts and Hawaiian shirts that I've been putting off, but I need to get those listed. Jennifer, what is it that you sell?
I sell a little bit of everything. I sell pre-owned clothing. I buy new without tags wholesale. I drop ship candle warmers, adult items.
What kind of adult
lot of
items?
Different things. Yeah.
What kind of adult
all
items?
of them. All of them. All of them. It's a great market. A lot of people don't want to do the market because there is a lot of people selling in the market, but I do very well. I don't really, when I list, I don't look at my competition. I look at what I want for an item, and I list it. And hopefully, I just hope that, because I'm top-rated seller, I have 100 positive feedback. I hope that draws people, and actually it does. Like, I very rarely look at what an item is selling for. I kind of glance at what it has sold for and how recently, and then I'm like, okay, well, it's sold 2 days ago for $24. I think I can get $25, and I basically do what I want, and it's been working for me. So,
Mary, what do you sell?
Well, I sell mostly home-related. Well, Third Rock Homes is my store. So, but I sell mostly home good type items. I do retail arbitrage, and I also thrift and basically, again, find anything that I think is going to sell. I do sell dishes, whether it be Feltzcraft or Denby or even Corel or those type of thing, and flatware. I don't have a lot of it listed. I got a whole kitchen full that I have to get listed still of those that have been backed up, but I look everything up and I see if it's selling. I see if there's a market for it. I don't just arbitrarily, and that comes from experience of just learning what's going to work and what fits you for you as a seller. I mean, not everybody is into that, but for some reason my eye gets drawn to those things. So that's what I focus on mostly.
Yeah, I tend to go for stuff that I like. If I like it, I buy it, and 9 times out of 10, it sells. So.
Yeah. Jennifer, you said that you usually don't look at what items have sold for. Um, you might glance at it, but you don't go
Yeah.
by that. I do the same thing, and I do the same thing for various reasons. You know, there are sellers that like to underprice their items,
Mhm.
um, and there are sellers who will have crappy pictures, crappy titles, no description, no item specifics. When I take, my pictures, I try to take the best pictures that I can. The way I set up my listing, I set it up in a way where it shows the value of the item. I make it as presentable as possible, and I've done this in I believe it's in Cindy's group where I have posted before, here's the solds for this item, the recent solds for this item, and you'll see a lot of sellers selling it for 99 cents, $1.99, $5, maybe $10. And here I go and I throw up my link for the item that I just sold, which is the same as the solds that I just presented to them. And I'll get $25, $40, $50 for it. Why? Because I took the time to take the pictures, more than one, took the time to make sure that the title was on point, the item specifics were there, and the description was on point. It's all in how you present your item. If you're constantly throwing all these listings up there and your store basically looks like a garage sale, then you're going to get garage sale prices. That's just the way it works. But if you're setting up your store to look like JCPenney or Macy's or one of these, or Target even, you're gonna get a higher price for it. That's just the way it works. It's how you present your item to the buyer. That's gonna make the buyer feel more comfortable in purchasing from you because they know and they can see the value of your item just from the way you set up your listings. So that's one of the things that you guys need to learn how to do. I want to make a show because Jessica brought this up to me, and me and Jessica want to do a show about the importance of pictures. Because we were going through pictures one day, the galleries on eBay, and some of these picture. Oh, Jennifer says she only has 10% battery life. All right, Jennifer. Jennifer, if we lose you, that's okay. Thank you for coming on the show. I thank you for sharing your awesome results. Again, mind blown, totally. I'm so proud of you. I'll
Thanks.
yeah, we'll let you go. And
No,
we'll just,
I'm on. I'm just saying if I disappear, that's
okay.
why.
Okay, now what was I saying? Now I forgot.
About a show with
Sorry.
About what?
A show with Jessica.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We were doing eBay searches for certain clothing pieces, and some of these pictures were pretty bad. When you take a picture, I want you guys to always go and do a search for that type of item and compare your gallery picture to everybody else's gallery picture. Your gallery picture better be stand out way above everybody else's, because that is, first of all, the title brings them brings up your everybody's stuff, but the picture is what's going to capture that buyer and make that buyer click onto you.
Yep.
Okay, so always look at those gallery pictures. Okay, the gallery picture is very important for eBay search and for mobile. Crappy pictures on mobile look even crappier. So if your picture is not on point when you load it up and it goes on to the internet, everybody else's looks better than yours, you better stop and retake those pictures, because that picture is what's going to get that buyer to click. Okay? Bad pictures on Google Shopping will not get you any clicks. And that's just the way it is. You have to make sure that those pictures are on point. So we're going to that's one of the shows that me and Jessica want to do is talking about the importance of pictures. So that's one of the shows that I have on my list to do with Jessica. Yes, exactly, Missy. Your first picture is the money picture. Exactly. Well said, girl. NCC, go to meetup.com and look up, crap, what is it called? Hold on. Let me go see. I think it's called the eBay. Oh, I better go see before I jack it up, and then Rich and Nyla get on my case. I think it's called the eBay Chicago Meetup Group or Chicagoland Meetup Group. I think it's Chicagoland Meetup Group. No, I'm already signed up. What are you talking about? Come on, log in. Okay, I'll tell you right now. It is called eBay. Where'd it go? Oh my God, I just saw. Okay, the Chicagoland Area eBay and e-commerce sellers meetup group. If you go to meetup.com, look up the Chicagoland Area eBay and e-commerce sellers meetup group. There's actually a meetup next week on Wednesday, June 8th, at 6 p.m. and it's $3 cash at the door. They run it every month, and it's always on the second Wednesday of the month. So NCC, I expect to see you there. Yes, that's the one. And then let me know who you are when you do show up. I'd love to meet you. Alfred says, auctions don't do good for me. Why do you say that, Alfred? Because you're not selling? Do you have a store? Because just because you're not selling the auction item doesn't mean that auctions aren't working for you. You could be putting auctions on there and actually driving traffic from auctions into your store, and they're not necessarily buying the auction item, but are buying the store items. Okay, so you're saying that because they're not buying that item, that they're not working for you. And I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and say that's not necessarily true. It's probably driving traffic to your store, but you're not aware of it. So what I would do is I would take a category, okay? Let's say you sold t-shirts. I don't know what you sell, but let's say you sold t-shirts and put, a few t-shirts off, up on auction. Even if they don't sell, if you see an increase in that category for your t-shirts, then you know that it's driving traffic from the auctions into your store. You do this part-time, I have to go full-time now. I sold 1,600 last month. In May, I sold 19. That's awesome, Alfred. See, that's good. Is your ultimate goal is to do this full-time? Just make sure that you have, all your ducks in a row before you let go of your current job, before you go ahead and do full-time. Sandra, yes, it's all recorded and you can watch the replay. 62. Woo! And you're still kicking. And you're a vet at that. Thank you for your service, Alfred.
And he's over 1,000 and working a job.
And working a job. And 62.
Yeah.
He's got more stamina than I do. we need to bring Alfred out here and so he can tell us how he does it. Oh yeah, insurance. Yeah, that $650 a month. Yikes. 62 years young.
Yeah, yes, Kara, see, Kara just retired and ramped up her selling too.
Yeah, I remember her talking about it on Facebook.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's another thing that I should, let me write that down. I do want to bring other sellers on here to talk about you know, their experiences and how, you know, the things that they've done. I think it's great when we have different sellers sharing their experiences, their thoughts, and their knowledge on here, because it helps other sellers. It helps other sellers see that, because everybody's different, right? And you might not connect with me. You might connect with Mary more, or you might connect with Jennifer more. You know, we're all different. We're all different, but we all have the same goals in mind. You know, and when you're together with like-minded people and you get other people's ideas and you start feeding off each other, there's something that happens there, you know, that gets you fired up, you know, and re-energized. So I do want to bring other sellers on here. Like I said, I wanted to bring Kim on here because she was a brand new seller and made the Comma Club. I will bring her on next time. So be looking out for that. I'll be doing the show with Jessica about the importance of pictures, and you know, I got more topics, you know, in mind to do. Unfortunately, at this point in time, I cannot dedicate to doing a show every week. I know you guys want a weekly show. Don't send me any more emails. I've already heard them. You already got me opening up the Comma Club. I'm only one woman here. So you know, because of health reasons, I can't commit to doing the weekly show at this time. Exactly, Alfred. I don't sleep either, and neither does Mary. You can ask Mary, because me and Mary be up till 3 o'clock in the morning usually, working and talking. But as soon as I get my health situation, you know, a little bit more in control, I will try to do the weekly show. I think it's important, but I want to make sure that I'm providing content, useful content. I don't want to come on here and just be winging it. I don't want to come on here and be wasting your time, because your time is valuable. And you know, I don't want to be coming on here and just talking about whatever. I want to make sure that if you're going to spend the time with me, that I'm providing you something that you can take back and apply to your business to help you grow it. So that's very important to me, you know, because my whole thing is helping other sellers achieve their goals and stuff. Especially since I am a single mom, especially for the single moms out there. I did get an email yesterday, and I forgot to tell you about it, Mary. I'm not going to mention any names, but I'm going to try not to cry here. I got a letter, an email yesterday from somebody who watched the YouTube videos, and this seller was in a bad situation, and she needed a way out, but she didn't, you know, she's a mom. She started selling on eBay, didn't know how to make it grow. She started watching the videos, stalking me on Facebook. She's been applying what I've been saying all along, the things that I've talked about. She made the Comma Club, but at this time doesn't want to join it yet. Because she's made the amount of money that she's made, she was able to leave the situation that she was in. Sorry, guys. It's nothing makes me happier than to know that the little bit of advice that and help that I was able to give to this mom helped her get her out of the situation that she was in with her 2 kids. This is why I do what I do. I love helping other people. I'm so grateful that she found the YouTube channel, that she listened to it, that she got motivated by it. She especially loved the video with me, Jennifer, Sibe, and Jessica on there. She said that was the video that really made I guess was the turning point for her, and really got her going. Being a single mom is not easy. I'll tell you that because I've been a single mom twice already. You know, when I lost my fiance, that was that wasn't easy. So I know I know where she's coming from. I can't say that I've been in her situation, but I've had family members in that situation, so I know how hard it can be, especially when you have little kids involved. I'm just happy that she found the video when she found it, that she listened to the advice and was able to get out. And you know, maybe one day she'll come on the show. Or maybe she won't. That's totally up to her. But I think that her story is a very powerful story. I have a soft heart for single moms, being a single mom myself, obviously, and I know how hard it can be. And I'm just so happy that damn, I'm trying not to cry here. I'm just so happy that she found it when she found it and was able to leave. That in its that's worth more to me than any amount of money that I can make. That made my day, my year, was to be able to help this woman who needed the help. And I didn't even know I was helping her. You know, I didn't know till the other day that she sent, yesterday till she sent the email. And I'm gonna tell you right now, woo, Gladys was sobbing big time. And it just made me so much more appreciative of the eBay community, the e-commerce community, the whole helping each other out, because that's what it's about. It's not about, you know, the store consultations. That's why I've never mentioned it here, because it's not about that. It's about helping other people get to where they need to get to. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to panic and not know how you're going to pay your rent at the end of the month. I know how it's like to not eat because you want your child to eat. You know, I know the struggles of a single parent. So when it comes to that, I have a soft heart for that. I'm just really happy that she got out, and that's it, because I need a break. Mary, take over. I need a minute.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, that's, you know, it's connecting with each other, and like Gladys was saying earlier, you know, sometimes you might connect with Gladys, you might connect with me or one of the other people that come on, but it's all about making that connection, because we all can relate to each other in various ways. Obviously, we all have the thing with the selling online, but, you know, different personalities connect more than others. But the Facebook groups are great for that too, because you can a lot of times find other people that you might connect with, and you know, and carry it over into a chat, and, you know, get to know other people that are in similar situations, and you know, it's just all about supporting, whether it's on a personal level, or whether it's on a, you know, level of selling your items in the groups. But most of the groups are pretty family oriented. I know Cindy's group in Cost is great for that. I mean, they really are all about helping each other, and we're also in Sellers Helping Each Other, and that's also the same. You know, everyone is there to provide support for each other, because we all want to see each other succeed. We're not in competition with each other. You know, it's about, you know, doing those things like making the difference, where you hear that something has made a, you know, a huge change in someone's life because of some small thing, but to them it was a big thing.
All right, so we're gonna end it in a few minutes, but before I end it, I want to thank everybody for showing up, and I also want to acknowledge everybody who has sent me their pictures of their organized inventory. I love seeing them. I've gotten so many of them, and I think I've acknowledged every single one of them. You know, that video was one of the other videos that made a huge impact in people's lives or business, was getting everything organized and stuff, and I appreciate all the emails and the pictures. Keep them coming. You know, I love hearing that you guys are getting organized, that you're getting your inventory under control, that video helped you. You know, Jennifer got organized. I got C-Bay organized. I got Jane organized. And everybody on Facebook is getting organized. I know Kara was one of them. There's so many of you. Pamela, I believe Rose was another one. There's so many of you out there in the Facebook groups that keep tagging me in the organizing post. And I just want to say, you know, a huge thank you to you guys for sharing those pictures. I love seeing them. If there's, you know, you guys got any questions about organizing, you guys know where to find me. If there's, you know, if you need help with the custom label field, no problem. You guys know where to find me. I can help you out with that. like I said, I just wanted to take the time to acknowledge those people as well. The Comma Club, like I said, is now open. We're not taking anybody in till after the end of June. If you make the Comma Club before the end of June, just send a screenshot of your sales for the month of June to either myself or to Mary on Facebook, and we'll let you into the Comma Club. You know, the more people we get in there, the better. It's all about holding yourself accountable and growing your business. Pat says, how do we send you an email? You can send me an email at justaskgladys@gmail.com. Let's see. Pamela says, yes, ma'am. And if I'm not ready to list it, throw in the banker's box and put a list. That's right. Exactly. There you go, Pamela. That's another important thing, is making sure that your unlisted stuff is organized. Hey, Wolf. How are you, Wolf? That's okay. You can watch the replay, Wolf. All right. Well, we're going to call it a night. Thank you all for coming. Oh, you made it into the Comma Club, Wolf? Well, you need to send Mary or myself a screenshot of your sales, and we'll let you in. Oh, okay. So anyways, thank you everybody for coming. Make sure you share the video around. Grab a Facebook friend that you have and make sure that they watch the video. It's great information and it's free. And I will try to make another, but I mean, I can't promise, but I'll try to make another show next week with Jessica. I'll try to see what our schedules look like. All right. So I will see you guys on Facebook. Thanks, everybody. Bye.